ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇದಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 28 of Uttara Kanda, in which we see Ravana and the Mahapurusha. Having conferred that favor on Ravana, the grandfather sprung from the lotus, speedily went to his own region, and Ravana, having obtained the boon, departed. After a few days, that scourge of the worlds, the Rakshasa Ravana with his counselors reached the banks of the western ocean, and on an island, person was seen seated there alone, bright as fire, named Maha. His form was dreadful like unto the fire of dissolution, and beholding that highly powerful being resembling Mahendra, the chief of the gods among the celestials, or the sun among the planets, a lion among the Sharabhas, Airavata among elephants, Sumeru among mountains, and Parijata among trees. Dashagriva said, enter into combat with me, and his eyes flicked like a cluster of planets. Gnashing his teeth, he made a sound like a grinding mill, and the highly powerful Dashanana, amid his counselors, roared aloud. Thereafter, with darts, Shaktis, Rishtis, and Patikas, he assailed that highly effulgent being of long arms, red aspect, huge teeth, grim form, conch like neck, breast, broad chest, frog like belly, leonine countenance, feet like unto the summit of Mount Kailasa, the palm of his hands and the soles of his feet like unto red lotuses, endowed with the swiftness of thought and the wind, terrifying, hearing a quiver, adorned with bells and the chauris, encircled by flames, emitting a sweet sound like a network of kinkinis, wearing a garland of golden flowers round his neck, noble like unto the Rigveda, and resembling Anjana or golden mountain. As a lion remains unmoved by the attack of the wolf or an elephant, or Mount Sumeru by the king of serpents, or the vast ocean by the current of a river, neither was that great being perturbed, but addressing Dashagriva said, O vicious minded night ranger, I shall soon rid you of your desire for combat. O Rama, Agastya addressing Rama, O Rama, the might of that being was 1,000 times greater than Ravana's, which was a source of terror to the worlds, pity and asceticism, which are the roots of attainment of everything in the world, are in his thighs. Desire is in his male organ. The Vishwadevas are at his waist, and the winds at the side of his intestines. The eight Vasus dwell in the middle, ocean abide in his belly, the quarters are his hips, the maruts his joints, Pitras are at his back, and the grandfather Brahma has taken refuge in his heart. Charitable acts of making many gifts of fine gold and land are the hair of his armpits. The mountains Himalaya, Hemakota, Mandara, and Meru are his bones. The thunderbolt is in his palm, the sky in his frame, the evening rain clouds are on his neck. Creator and preserver and the Vidyadharas are his arms. Ananta, Vasuki, Vishalaksha, Iravata, Kamala, Ashwatara, Karkotaka, Dhananjaya, the venomous Takshaka, and Ut- Uttatashaka are have taken shelter under his nails in order to vomit forth their poison. Fire is in his mouth, the Rudras on his shoulders, the fortnights, months, years, and seasons in his jaws, the lunar fortnight and the dark half of the mouth are his nostrils, the airy currents are the pores of his body. Saraswati with her veena is in his throat, the Ashwins are in his ears, and sun and the moon are in his two eyes. O Rama, all the branches of the Veda and the sacrifices, the whole galaxy of stars, sweet speech, good deeds, energy, and asceticism are supposed by his body in human form. Then that Purusha struck Ravana playfully with his hands, which were as powerful as lightning, and thus assailed. Ravana fell to the ground immediately, and having put that night ranger to flight, that great Purusha, like unto the Rigveda, resembling a mountain bedecked with lotus wreaths, entered the region under the earth. Then Ravana addressed his counselors thus: O Prahasta, O Shuka, O Sarana, and the other ministers, where has that Purusha suddenly gone? Do yourself tell me. Hearing the words of Ravana, the night rangers said, that Purusha, who crushed the pride of the Devas and Danavas, has entered into that place. As Garuda swoops on a serpent, so did that wicked minded Ravana speedily approach the entrance of that cave and entered it fearlessly. Penetrating there, he beheld three warriors, dark like unto collyrium, wearing kayuras adorned with red garlands, besmeared with sandal paste, bedecked with diverse golden ornaments set with gems, and he saw 3 crores of exalted beings, fearless, pure, radiant as fire, intent on dancing. Beholding them, Dashagriva was not in the least afraid, but watched them, gyrating while he stood at the entrance, and they all resembled the Mahapurusha who had previously been seen by him, and all were of similar color, dress, form, and all equally endowed with energy. Then the hair of Dashagriva stood on end as he gazed upon them, but on account of the boon he had received from the self born, he issued out of that place alive. Thereafter, he saw the Mahapurusha lying on a couch, and his dwelling, his seat, and his bed were all white and costly, and he slept there enveloped in flames. And there, with a fan in her lotus like hand, sat the goddess Lakshmi, most beautiful in all the 3 worlds, and their decoration, as it were, chastity, adorned with celestial garlands, sprinkled with excellent sandal paste, bedecked with rich ornaments, and clad in costly robes. And the wicked Ravana, lord of the Rakshasas, having entered there without a counselor, beholding that chaste damsel of sweet smiles, seated on a royal throne, became filled with desire and wished to behold her by the hand, as one under the sway of death, fondling a sleeping serpent. Beholding the Lord of Rakshasas with a loosened garment, and knowing him desirous of taking hold of her, the huge armed deity, sleeping, enveloped in flames, laughed aloud, and suddenly by his power began to consume Ravana, harasser of his enemies, who fell down on earth like an uprooted tree. Beholding that Rakshasa fallen, Purusha addressed him, saying, rise up, O foremost of the Rakshasas. You shall not meet with death today. You shall live protected by the grandfather's boon, that is Brahma's boon. You yourself therefore go hence without fear. O Ravana, your death is not yet decreed. Regaining consciousness after a while, Ravana was seized with fear and being thus addressed, that enemy of the gods rose up, his hair standing on end, and said to that highly resplendent deity, "Who are you, endowed with great energy, and like unto the fire of dissolution? Say, who are you, O God, and from where have you come here?" Being thus accosted by the wicked minded Ravana, the god smiling replied in accents as deep as the muttering of clouds, saying, "What have you to do with me, O Dashagriva? You shall be slain for long." Being thus addressed, the 10-necked Rakshasas with joined palms said, "On account of Brahma's boon, I shall not tread the path of death. There is none born among men or gods who can equal me or in virtue of his prowess disregard the grandfather's boon. His words may never prove vain, nor can any, howsoever he exert himself, prove them to be false. I do not see any in the three worlds who could render his boon to be void. O great God, I am immortal. I do not fear you, and even were I to meet with death, may it be through you and none other. O Lord, death at your hands will bring me glory and renown. Then Ravana, endowed with dreadful prowess, saw the three worlds with all the animate and inanimate creatures within the body of the deity: Adityas, the Maruts, the Sadhyas, the Vasus, the twin Ashwins, the Rudras, the Pitras, Yama, Kubera, the seas, mountains, rivers, all the branches of the learning of the Veda, fire, the planets, the stars, the sky, the Siddhas, Gandharvas, Charanas, and the Maharishis, conversant with knowledge of the Veda, Garuda, the Nagas, other gods, yakshas, daityas, and rakshasas were all seen in their subtle form in the limbs of that Purusha lying there. On this, the virtuous souled Rama said to Agastya, the foremost of the Munis, "O Lord, tell me who was that Mahapurusha on that island? Who were those hundreds and thousands of beings? Who is the Purusha who humbles the pride of the Daityas and the Danavas?" Hearing Rama's words, Sri Agastya answered, "O you, existing eternally, O God of the gods, herein, and I will tell you that Purusha on the island was the illustrious Kapila, and all those who were dancing are the deities equaling that intelligent Kapila in energy and form, and that Rakshasa bent on sin was not looked on by him with a wrathful glance. Therefore, he was not immediately reduced to ashes, but Ravana, who resembled a mountain with his person pierced, fell to the ground. As a crafty man penetrates a secret, so did that Purusha pierce Ravana's person with his arrow like words. Thereafter, that Rakshasa of great prowess, having regained his senses after a long while, returned to where his counselors were. Thus come to the end, chapter 28 of Uttara Kanda in Ramayana. नमस्ते शारदे देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनि त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यादानं च देहि मे. Goodbye.